come with me to do the Ingleton Waterfalls trail. It was £11 to enter, car park is free, and we are going to do it on this lovely sunny day. So I set my watch and began my journey. This is such a nice peaceful walk. There is a lot of steps when you actually do it, and a lot of the walkway is not smooth. It is very rocky, so do make sure that you do bring your good boots. There's so much to see on this walk, like this amazing tree that people for years have been putting their pennies in or pounds in. It is so unique to see. But we continue on, and as you can see here, the walkway, like I said, is definitely not a smooth run. But you are followed through a whole stream of water, which just makes it just very magical. We decided to cross over some bridge, get some amazing views, and I absolutely love doing this walk. It can take around 2 to 3 hours depending on how fast you walk, if you want to stop and take pictures. As you can see here, we've gotten so far, and we're not that far away, to be fair. This is one of my favourite spots. You can get a picture here. A lot of couples do this, or even if you're going with your friends, because it is so scenic to get a photo in this position. So we continued on the walk, and again, like I said, you see some wildlife as well, and you actually can see some deer if you are really, really lucky, but we didn't see any today, unfortunately. As you can see, there's plenty of waterfalls to see as well. There isn't just the one main one. There is quite a few on your journey round, and I never realised how big Ingleton used to actually be. So I decided to continue on my walk and look at all the other waterfalls going through. We eventually passed the first part of it, and you get to this lovely view, and again, it is so nice. And when you get to the main waterfall, a lot of people do stop here, like myself here, have a quick rehydrate, have a little bit of food, and then you do continue on, which does get a little bit harder at this point because it is completely just going up and up, and then you go down a few parts, but it is a lot of stairs, and it can be quite steep because the stairs are a little bit uneven. But again, once you get to the top, it is very breathtaking. We aren't even at the top yet. I had a quick bit of a rest again just because it was quite hard, and then of course I continued on, and you get again some amazing views up here, as well as some farmland, which is lovely because you get to walk through them. And yes, if you do take dogs, you do need to keep them on the lead at this point, because there is a lot of sheep that are literally just roaming around everywhere. But again, it's worth it for the views. So we continued. Once you get to this point, you see all the little sheep running around, and you see the ice cream van, which is there a lot of the time, but only really when it's popular, when it's really hot. When you get to this point, you're basically at the halfway point, but it doesn't get any easier from here. I wish it really did, but unfortunately it doesn't. And as you can see here, some of the sheep are very brave. They will literally just stand there, let you pass. Sometimes they will run off a little bit, but they don't harm you at all, and they are extremely friendly. But like I said, you do have to keep your dogs on lead throughout this point, especially when it is lamb season, because they are so close and they will walk up to you. And it is just fantastic to see. And again, I could do this walk every day if I could. If it wasn't so far from me and it wasn't £11 each time, I would do this happily, because it's so peaceful, especially when you come when it's quiet. Once you pass all through the farmland and see all the sheep, you then do come to what this part is known where there's a little cafe, which does serve some food. It does have some little biscuits and sweets and drinks, so it is good to have a bit of a stop if you really want to. We decided to continue on because I wanted to try and beat my time this time, because my original was like 3.5 hours, and I really wanted to try and get back down. So we continued on, seeing more waterfalls, and like I said previously, the path is not always so smooth. It is very rickety, and also there's not always railways, so just be careful on that side as well, as obviously you can easily fall over if you are not careful. But it is just so scenic to come here. Even when it's busy, you can get around, but when it's quiet, it's even better, because you just have the peaceful forest around you. You can go down there, or you can continue on instead of having to come to a dead end. And then there is parts where you can go down and get closer to the water when it isn't overfilled. So we didn't do that today. We continued on because, like I said, I wanted to beat my time. And there is some natural running water that is coming down, which I find so refreshing, but I don't drink, unfortunately. It's not something I want to do. I did put some on my face, and it made my face a little bit itchy, so I'm not for it. We then come to the end, which is a door which you push through and you can't get back through on the other side. So just make sure that you are happy at this point, because you can't really turn around, because the pathway, like I said, is quite narrow and you don't really want to be pushing past people. So we went through, and by all means, this isn't the end. You still have a good half an hour walk, depending on how quick you walk, and it's still uphill and downhill. So it does continue, but again, the views also continue with you as well as the water. It is just amazing to actually get through and go through all this part. And again, you might see some more sheep when you're along this walk as well. You also see kind of like a rugged castle. I don't know if it is a castle, but don't quote me on that one, but it is something to see. And seeing this sign, knowing that you're nearly home, and you cut through the little village where there's some beautiful shops and some lovely pubs and restaurants. But again, we were just continuing back to the car park, and we've done it in 2 hours and 2 minutes. I was quite proud of myself for that. Hope you enjoy.